This video will be an overview of how to use Acuity. It will show you how to log in, find and begin a test, start and stop a test, navigate a test, and navigate questions. To begin with, when you log into Acuity, you will begin by typing in a username and password that I give you. Once you have that done, you will click on Enter Site. Don't worry, because in the beginning we will do this step by step together. You will have three choices: take a test, study, view reports. You will need to click on Take a Test. Then you will need to choose the subject for that day. We will begin with Language Arts. When you scroll your mouse over, it will turn green when you're over that, so you will click on Language Arts. Then you will have options. If there are different tests loaded, such as practice test or something like that, you will be able to click on the Start button that I tell you to click on. If by chance we come back in the afternoon and you need to continue a test, you will see a Continue button. This explains how to take the test, which is basically you click on A if you want A, B if you want B, and so forth. So I will have you click Next. Then you will have a stoplight. When it reaches Go, that means that you are allowed to click on the green button. Next, here is an example of what a sample question will look like. Over on the right hand side, you will see the question, and then you will see the choices that you will have. On the left side over here is an actual story that you can read. Please do not forget to use the scroll bar. Sometimes they are along the side, and especially on the questions, sometimes they're over on the bottom if the question is a little bit too big. At this point, I'm going to ask you to think about maybe some of the test-taking strategies that you could use when taking Acuity. The first one would be that you can use your mouse to follow along when you read. You could read the question first before reading the story, and then after reading the story, reread the question. Make sure that you read all multiple choice answers before making your final choice, because sometimes there's more than one that could be the right answer. Okay, moving on to page 9. Here are some things that you need to remember. You may mark something to review for later. This button right here means Next, and this button means Exit. We do not hit Exit unless you have permission from Mrs. Novak. Down here are all of our pages that we're on. If it is green, it means that the problem has been answered. If it is yellow, that is the page that you are on, and white means you have not answered it. So before you end a test, I will come along and make sure that you have everything answered. Remember that you are allowed to skip a question. Often that is marking it for review. But even if it will remain white at that point. But even if it remains white, you will need to go back at the end and answer it, because unlike SRI, there are no skips for Acuity. You will have questions where you have to type the answer for the corrected response. You will not be typing them. These are handwritten pages where I will hand them out and you will write the answer. Please do not type in this. When this comes, you will go to the Next button. Yes, that will stay white, and I will at the beginning of class write on the board which two questions will remain white. That will not hurt your score because your teacher will put that in at the end. This is what will happen when you're at the end of the page. You can scroll down here and see which ones you have not answered. If you have any not answered, please do not raise your hand, because I will not be allowed to have you finish the test until everything is answered. Remember that another test-taking strategy that I forgot to tell you earlier was that Mrs. Novak can read up to 1 word per sentence, pronounce it for you. I may not define it or explain it in any way, but I may read it for you. In the morning, everyone will click Save and Exit so we can review it in the afternoon. And then when we're all finished, we will hit Finish and Turn in Test. You may never hit Finish and Turn in Test without teacher permission. Because once you have done that, whether your test is finished or not, then you will have the score that it is. And if you haven't finished it, you're truly not helping the teacher figure out what areas you need to work on. So as soon as you get to this page, I would raise your hand so that Mrs. Novak can come by and give you feedback. It is very important that when you are finished, you log out. This will make sure that nobody can get in by accident and take or finish your test that you've been working on. Once you say, I'm ready to log out, or finish the test, a box will pop up and it will say, are you sure you want to finish the test? And then I will be standing over your shoulder and I will have you click OK. This page is the page that tells you how many questions you scored, how many total questions, and different things like that. So that will help you know what your score is. And then once again, you need to remember to log out. It is very important for this assessment that you give your best effort, you have a growth mindset, and you're willing to do the very best that you can so that we can get the accurate data for you.